Hi, hello. Normally, I would have started with the intro, but this is not what I'm hearing right now. The reason why I'm doing this video today is the one very specific reason that I'm afraid has not been resolved, even when it still exists to this day, and even when everybody still gets annoyed that it even exists. I'm talking about one specific video made by Corey X Kenshin back on 24th of August 2022, in which video it is specified about two very particular and very serious topics in which indicate YouTube's rather suspicious and discriminatory behavior towards blackface. I'm talking about both racism, favoritism, or even indicating both for YouTube as stated by Holy Extension himself. So what exactly happens? You'll see in a bit. So what we're going to be doing today is A, looking to Cody Kenshin's video, address it in some way or another way when there are misleading information or misunderstanding towards what he's trying to depict, what he's trying to call YouTube for, and then C, I'm going to be stating some more evidence regarding the decision as to why Corey himself decided to finally stand up, speak up, and just state his opinion. Because, my God, it's this one really serious topic that unfortunately nobody has been trying to even depict, to even talk about, or even to try and solve it in one way or another. And unfortunately, this racism that Corey is accusing the policy team of YouTube has unfortunately looked like it sort of got to the policy team of YouTube as well, alongside their officials. But I will be talking about it later in this video.
I'm going to try my best to articulate this video as thoroughly, as plainly, as eloquently as possible. I don't want there to be any lost context. I don't want to just look like I'm coming out of nowhere having a temper tantrum because these things are happening. The allegations I am levying towards YouTube are extremely serious, and I'm taking this video extremely seriously. YouTube, you guys either play favorites, you are racist, or it's a mix of the two.
So obviously Corey Extension himself is depicting that YouTube are either racist, they're either depicting anti-favoritism, or even a mix of both. Now, obviously, this is a very serious accusation. At least from my point of view, it is a very risky accusation to say the least. Because what you're doing with this accusation is basically you're calling out someone for improper and unacceptable behavior for one or too many reasons. And the evidence, or rather the misunderstandings, maybe not I wouldn't call them misunderstandings to be properly specific towards the situation that Tori and the other black creators and black YouTubers has faced over the years. So I wouldn't really call it a misunderstanding, but maybe somewhat of a reaction towards the suspicious behavior from YouTube and their policy teams alongside their officials. So again, I will try to specifically clarify any misunderstandings throughout the video. At least I will try as calmly and logically as possible, so that there might be some misunderstandings, there might be some misinformation regarding one or two topics throughout the video. So please feel free to comment down below what I missed, what I got wrong, because I shit you not, this situation right here is dead serious. Alright? Thank you. Thank you. Anyway, moving on.
These are the three options, YouTube. Which one is it? Here's my proof. I've been doing YouTube a long time, okay? I never want to be that guy, oh, it's because I'm black. Oh, these issues are happening because I'm black. There have been certain situations that I looked at kind of funny. I said, it could be because of that, but nah, I ain't gonna, I'm not trying to press that. I don't want to build that narrative around my YouTube channel. This time, I can no longer let it slide. This is the situation. August 18th, I uploaded The Mortuary Assistant. A lot of you would know it got age restricted because the following video I did, I let you guys know it got age restricted. YouTube didn't tell me why. I saw that all these other YouTubers were playing The Mortuary Assistant and only my video seemed to be age restricted. And I looked for like an hour, 2 hours. I was scrolling all different types of people's video. No one else's was age restricted.
So what Clinical Education specifically shouldn't try to tell us, the viewers, all the people that are watching this video, specifically maybe even the officials and the policy team of YouTube, is that he's been facing, for quite some time now, he's been facing unfair treatment towards his videos in particular, at least from his point of view, after recording The Mortuary Assistant. Now, obviously, again, this is a huge speculation from Korea's Kenshin, because normally you don't see people just stand up right here and tell us, yeah, the behavior of the YouTube policy team seems kind of suspicious. Maybe they're accused of being racist. You don't do that unless you have proper examples, proper evidence in order to support your point of view and to support the fact that maybe, yes, the policy team and the officials of YouTube really seem to be in somewhat of a suspicious behavior, but more than later.
So I appealed the restriction. Hey guys, I'm not sure why mine got age restricted. Could you look into this? Appeal rejected. They doubled down. The policy team said, no, Corey, your video is restricted for good reason. We're not going to tell you why, but it's restricted. That's our final decision.
Now, obviously, this decision made by the policy team of YouTube regarding the appeal from Korea Extension seems to be kind of suspicious, to be honest. I mean, again, more on that later, but I wanted to state my personal point of view and to say that it's not due to Korea being a different race than the other YouTubers who are, for some reason, being seen as favorites from YouTube, and Korea isn't seen as one, which, again, comes back into the statement that YouTube and the officials may be accused of racism due to discrimination of different races. But a second major factor that I personally see in all this is the inconsistency of the automatic or human reviewers when it comes to reviewing certain YouTube videos and then making the decision whether or not either A, demonetize it, B, age restricted for some apparent reason due to self-harm tools or whatnot, or C, temporarily ban the video and give the YouTuber a strike. Now, putting away the second and actually putting away the first and the third option, the second option, just with age restricting the video because of one specific part of The Mortuary Assistant by Korea Extension. Now, of course, when talking about inconsistency, there has to be evidence, because saying that the reviewers of YouTube and their policy team along with their officials is inconsistent enough for quite some time now is also a big accusation regarding their platforms and how big their servers are and whatnot. But because many people, myself included, have faced this situation when it comes to inconsistency, when it comes to wrongfully getting your video either demonetized, either age restricted, or even banned from YouTube for the wrong reasons, then you know that there's something wrong with the servers themselves from the policy team. You know, regarding if the first time they reveal the video is automatic, and then after the appeal, it's reviewed by human beings themselves. But like I said, because this issue is faced by lots of people around YouTube, and again, myself included, and I'll tell you why later on, this is, at least from my point of view, seen as a second major factor when it comes to the issues that YouTube and their policy teams and their officials facing like every single day. Now, why I'm saying inconsistency, for me, there have been two occasions where the YouTube policy team and the reviewers team regarding certain videos violating community guidelines can be incredibly inconsistent. Now, I'll give you two examples of mine. First one being the 50-50 challenge that I did over a freaking year ago. Right at the end of the last one, of the last video with the spider dancing to the YMCA, take a guess what YouTube did. Now, obviously, whenever you're putting a copyrighted song into the video yourself, like you're editing it into your video and not like reacting to one where the copyrighted song is being played, then from my point of view, it's ridiculous to think that your video has copyright infringed material because the video that you're reacting to has copyrighted material. Now, obviously, I'm not really that experienced when it comes to the community guidelines and how to use copyrighted infringement material and how to get permission out of it. But from my point of view, if it's copyrighted material, if you put it in your video itself, and I'll show you why. Right after my appeal to YouTube, there were two or three times when that specific video was reviewed again and again, and then the last time they just said, "Oh, you're right. There's no copyright material. Your video is free of monetization." Because the copyrighted song, the YMCA one with the spider dancing to it, has been reviewed by humans, and then later on revealed that this particular song was not edited by me, but rather it was already in the reaction video that I did at the end of the 50-50 challenge. Now that would have been okay if the second time after that, the inconsistency did not occur after that. Because if you remember the video after that, months after that, the video that I did was me playing Robot Unicorn Heavy Metal Edition. And again, the same situation at the end when I said goodbye to the audience and I vibed to the music. Right at the moment when the music hired up, when the song got louder, YouTube and their automatic reviewers indicated that there was a copyrighted material yet again, even though I did not edit it into the video. And the funny thing is, and I hesitate to even call it funny, is that right after I appealed to the video and to YouTube itself to review it again, they later on stated that there was no issues whatsoever and that there was no error by the reviewers, and that also the copyrighted material was correctly listed as violating community guidelines to this specific video. You see where I'm going? Now, obviously, I'm not trying to understate the fact that Corey is facing issues from YouTube and the policy teams and officials themselves, considering the fact that he's already accusing them of either being racist, accusing them of favoritism, or even mix of both. But again, there is a reason why he's stating this, and he's basically showing his point of view. I'll show you mine, along with my personal analysis and my point of view, to say that it's my personal opinion about this whole situation regarding YouTube and the issues they're facing with these specific topics. But that's gonna happen later on. But also, I didn't explain to you the issue with the inconsistency of the community guidelines and the reviewing of certain videos because of the rules that YouTube put into their service when it comes to YouTubers making videos and whatnot. Because for me, from what I'm seeing, not only is race, like the racism and favoritism, the first major factor, I believe there's also a second major factor, which is the inconsistency. But I'm not pretty sure about that. I'm just stating my own personal opinion. If you think otherwise, then feel free to comment down below. I'm okay with that. My only preference for now, I mean, not for now, for the whole video, is to raise awareness about the issues that YouTube is stirring up into their controversy part all the time, even to this day. And I don't even care if YouTube themselves decide to take down my video or with the snap of the fingers just terminate it like this. Because my only reason for making this video, for calling out YouTube as well, which I'll do later, is to raise awareness and not to monetize this specific video out of all the videos that I've made up until now. Alright, I just wanted to clarify this. Now let's move on.
I said, okay. I get with my YouTube rep. I send him an email. Hey, could you look at this? This is some weird stuff going on. Only my video got age restricted. My YouTube rep, who isn't on the policy team, he looked at my video and he said, hey, it could possibly be this part at the end where the woman was battling some depression. And I'm just going to leave it there, lest this video also get age restricted just because I'm talking about it. So I looked at that part. The first thing I did was try to find other YouTubers who had that part, or at least a part similar. Now, Markiplier, I don't know if you'll ever see this, but I just want you to know I have a lot of respect for you, and I didn't mean to drag you into the middle of this. Your channel just happens to be a great reference point because A, you're a really big YouTuber, and B, you're not black. So I can look at your channel, and then I can look at my channel or look at anyone else's channel and make sure that the things in the games that you play, that they're enforcing the rules equally to everybody. So I go to Markiplier's Mortuary Assistant Part 3, and he had the same situation going on, and his video wasn't age restricted. So I send the video to my YouTube rep. I say, hey, Markiplier has this situation in his video, but his isn't age restricted. Could you send that to the policy team and see what they say about that? He said, wow, Corey, that's some astute detective work. Let me send this to them and see what they say. What do you think happened after that? I'll give you a second.
I'll give you 5 seconds, but before I give you the 5 seconds, that's a lot of information to input right now. So what Corey did was that A, he contacted the YouTube rep, which is the type of person who, despite not being in the policy team itself, does have some connections here and there with them. So what he did is, after the appeal got, well, sort of blocked, terminated, whatever you call it, honestly. After the appeal, Corey just said, well, let me talk to the YouTube rep then. And so what he did is that he took a look at Markiplier's video of Mortuary Assistant, because he himself claimed that there have been many YouTubers who got to the same part of the game, but their videos have not been age restricted, whereas Corey's one have been age restricted, which is really suspicious when you think about it, don't you think? And so what he does, I mean, at least what he did, is just contact the YouTube rep, tell him about the specific situation he himself got into, and I'm going to give you 5 seconds as to think what happened after that. We good? Okay. Well, there goes nothing.
They came back and they removed my age restriction. They took it off after they already rejected my appeal. I sent them the clip of Markiplier's video that has the same thing, and they removed it. Now, my YouTube rep, he was excited. He was, oh, great, this is awesome. Look, Corey, they took the age restriction off. I said, why? I expected them to triple down and give Markiplier an age restriction too. But they looked at Mark's video and they used that to verify my innocence. So I send my YouTube rep a lengthy email detailing my feelings about the entire situation, feeling like there was some favoritism at play, there was either that or some racism at play, and that I would like to sit down with the policy team and figure out why my video was flagged in the first place. Actually, number one, was it automated or was it a human that age restricted it in the first place?
I mean, I personally, kind of answering the first question as to whether or not the initial restriction was automated or human reviewed, from I can believe from raw memory, is that the primary restriction for the video itself is revealed automatically. Like, it's not revealed by any human reviewers from the policy team or the officials whatsoever. I think that it's first automated. The review is firstly automated, but then when making the appeal, then I believe it's reviewed by humans themselves. But then again, using the reference point, in other words, using Markiplier's own video to verify Corey X Genshin's innocence himself, in order to quote unquote use it to de-age restrict his video, is really suspicious behavior. Because honestly, it really makes anyone think that the stuff that YouTube officials and their policy team are doing is absolutely suspicious. And it's also something that would question every single being out there as to why this is the case exactly, and not why exactly age restrict Markiplier's video and not the age restrict Corey's videos, for example. I mean, from what I believe at this point of time, both of these videos, and not only both of them, but Jacksepticeye is one, and a lot of YouTubers once with the quote unquote depression and whatnot from Mortuary Assistant. Like, every single one of these videos from a lot of YouTubers up until this point are probably age restricted at this point, but I'm not really sure. I just wanted to state this point right now, and let's just move on.
Number two, who was the human reviewer? Because it's a human reviewer once you submit an appeal. Who was the human reviewer that doubled down and rejected my appeal? Number three, why did it take Markiplier's clip in order for them to reverse the decision? My YouTube rep gets back with me. He wants to hop on a call. We get on the phone for about 10-15 minutes, and I tell him, I've been feeling like this for a long time. I've been feeling like every single time that I come back to YouTube, I'm #1 trending for a few days, and then they find some arbitrary issue. They nitpick and they try and find something that they can incriminate me for and try to push me down. You don't believe me? What happened the last time I came back and I was #1 trending for like a week? They copyright struck me for a video that was in 2019 or something like that. Why don't these issues ever crop up when I'm not uploading? I mean, I'm not on YouTube like 9 months out of the year. Nothing ever happens until I come back and I start uploading again, and I'm getting my numbers, they're climbing, they're exploding, I'm #1 trending, and then they're like, hey, we need to stop him. We need to, this black man, he's getting too many views. He's getting too much exposure, too much activity. Hold that, Bob.
I mean, a lot of you people now, after hearing that this person was called a Corey X Genshin himself about just the policy team sort of discriminating the black YouTubers after they gained a sustainable amount of following and viewing. I know that a lot of you might think this as sort of ranting, but what you're about to see later on has nothing to do with it, honestly. And in fact, it only proves Corey's point of view regarding YouTube doing something against black YouTubers gain sustainable amount of following, it the thing I'm about to show you guys right after the video will further prove his points, and it will straight up piss you off. This is your final warning. If you don't want to listen to this anymore, if you think you're better enough, you can safely leave the video. My personal preference for this video is to show awareness to all of the issues that YouTube, the policy team, the officials, and especially the black YouTubers face every single day, no matter what happens. Like, it's still going on even to this very day. And I'm still here. No, you know what? We're all still here wondering as to why racism is still a thing in 2022, to the point where even officials of YouTube and their policy team who are in control of reviewing videos, who are either A, okay, or B, ruining the community guideline, or having something in common with self-harm or whatnot. The fact that even racism, and the fact that the YouTube officials themselves are accused by random amount of number of YouTubers around the world, to the point where even YouTubers like Jacksepticeye and Corey X Kenshin, two of the very most YouTubers around the world, to the point where these two stand up and speak about the issues of YouTube, says enough. But again, the next analysis that I'm going to show you guys from my own personal analysis regarding different black YouTubers who experienced the somewhat same issue that Corey did for over a year or two now, it's gonna be something that it's gonna trigger you a lot. And believe me, it is triggering. Like, I'm not even trying to be joking. If it's not obvious enough, I'm trying since the beginning of the video not to be joking, but rather be serious about this whole situation, because this is no joke whatsoever.
Let's get back to the current situation. So my YouTube rep assures me he's going to continue this dialogue with the policy team and try to get some answers to those 3 questions that I had. So another day, another 2 days go by, and what do you know? They re-age restricted the video. They re-age restricted the video. I say, no way did they do that. I go to Markiplier's video now, and now his video is age restricted. They got caught with their pants down. They got called out, and then they had to go back and say, oh, whoa. Okay, we see the narrative that he's kind of pushing here. We need to take some steps back. We need to just age restrict them both and be done with it. You thought that I wasn't gonna like talk about this, make a video about it?
Obviously, if you remember that when I was talking about the suspicious behavior by YouTube, here's an example that Corey has given already. So now you know, in a way.
You realize how bad this looks for you, YouTube. You realize how unfair this comes across. I, in all my years, have never seen a video get age restricted, de-age restricted, and then age restricted again. Have any of you ever seen that happen before? They saw that I saw that there was some unfair stuff going on. So then they tried to appease me by de-age restricting the video. I say, wait, why are you doing that? Because I sent Markiplier's clip. And then they say, oh, okay, well, let's just age restrict them both. Why is my channel so much more heavily scrutinized than my peers? My peers, and when I say peers, I mean people around my level, around my view count, just to keep it simple. Why is my channel so much more thoroughly scrutinized? Especially so when I've been #1 trending multiple days in a row, which I've done multiple times. And every single time I start to get an uptick in traction, an uptick in activity, here comes YouTube coming through. Hey, let's get him for that video from 2019. Yeah, you see this, Corey? No, this is bad. It wasn't bad the 9 months that I was off the platform. It was only bad when I got back and I was #1 trending. This situation was only bad because I've been #1 trending since I got back. Every other YouTuber has uploaded the Mortuary Assistant. And now they're about to start putting in some age restrictions because I called them out on some unfair behavior. Now I realize that when you call someone a racist, that's a very, very serious accusation. And for that matter, how do you expressly prove that someone is a racist? I mean, unless they're spamming the N-word in the chat. How do you really know? And admittedly, I cannot 100% prove that race had everything to do with this.
I mean, Corey, look, we all do this with respect, and I respect your decision to speak up. Respect, brother. The fact that the analysis that I mentioned will trigger a lot of people, and assumingly it will trigger him if he ever finds this video. I'm not sure if I will email him the link so that he also sees what I try to do for in behalf of all Black people around the world, and not just around YouTube. But honestly, from what you're about to see regarding the analysis that I did regarding the issue that YouTube faces when it comes to racism and favoritism, I think this might prove his point even further. At least I think. It's my personal analysis. It's my personal opinion. It's my point of view. All right. Everyone has different points of view. Everyone can state their own opinion on the certain topic. But like I said, the analysis that I will show you later on, they will be triggering. All right. They will certainly trigger you. But moreover, they will prove him even more right than before.
But I can tell you the people on that policy team, those shadow people that are anonymous and get to enact their will however they see fit. How can we be sure that they take a Black person's video and a white person's video, and it can be the same exact video, and they restrict the Black person's video, but not the white person's video?
Of course, normally when it comes to the two same videos and only one gets restricted and the other one said it to be fine, this is where the inconsistency, the second major factor that I told you guys, this is where it comes to a huge factor when it comes to reviewing these two certain videos, and then later on reviewing if both of them are violating the community guidelines in a way, and then realizing, oh no, the one video, it's the same, but it doesn't, I don't know, it doesn't violate anything, so we'll let this one pass, or like this, or the other, no, age restricted or something. This is where the inconsistency comes to a huge factor. But from Corey's own perspective, from his own example, giving an example of one Black video and one white video, and the Black video getting age restricted, I think he has a point. I might be wrong. There might be some misunderstanding. I mean, we all hope that the current situation, the current issue that is still going on to this day when it comes to racial discrimination and whatnot, we still hope to this day that it's all a big misunderstanding, but I look at all the evidence regarding the racial discrimination, and I think this is not misunderstanding. I think this is legit. I think the YouTube officials are serious when they say, oh yeah, this is all based on racial discrimination, like Black videos shouldn't be as popular as white ones and whatnot, which is absolutely racist. I mean, not that they say it directly, but did they really? Again, I will show you on my personal analysis that I did right after the video, and then I will state my own personal feelings and what has to change. Alright? I can't just let this slip through. I know that what I'm doing might not be so huge when it comes to doing change for YouTube, but I hope that this video is enough to bring awareness to Corey for the current situation, in case he isn't aware of what's going on around other Black YouTubers. But most importantly, this is to raise awareness on behalf of all Black people to the whole world somehow. I know that there are other YouTubers way more popular than me that are doing the same, but I for one hope that this video is enough to bring some awareness and to shed light on the current suspicious situation regarding YouTube and their policies and their whatnot. So, yeah. Anyway,
I feel I've been mistreated for a long time. I mean, even when we hit 10 million subscribers and I was supposed to get my diamond play button and there was no correspondence, these situations always coincide with an uptick of growth. And it always just comes off like we can't let this Black guy get too high up. I mean, if I'm wrong, I'm wrong. I'm telling you, that's how it comes off. I don't see any other YouTuber that gets #1 trending many times and then all of a sudden they're getting age restricted and they're getting copyright strikes and all of that. If I'm wrong, I'm wrong. Point them out. I want to see them. I'll retract this entire video. I'll make a public apology to YouTube. I have no problem. My dad taught me if you make a mistake, be a man and address it and apologize. I will do that, no problem. But to me, you know what it comes off? It comes off whenever Corey Kenshin starts doing some crazy numbers or getting on trending too much. We got to find something. We got to get him for something. He's got to have done something. I mean, I bleep out cuss words in video games. Like I literally, this is the YouTuber that you want to have smoke with and have problems with. I believe there is some racism involved within the policy team, and YouTube in general really doesn't care about Black people like that. They got their favorite creators. You know, log out of YouTube. Log out and go to YouTube. You'll see the people on the front page every single day. You'll see the favorites. Count how many are Black. Count how many are of people of color. So then what does YouTube try and do? They try and peddle YouTube Black. They try and give us a spotlight. And do you know how condescending and patronizing that is? Oh, yeah, let's give a spotlight to these Black creators because we're all about diversity. All this communicates is Black people aren't good enough on their own skill, on their own merits, on their own talent. So we got to give them a spotlight. We got to come down and raise them up so they can get some spotlight action. Well, how about you save all that YouTube Black, all that fake patronage, all that fake pandering that you guys do. And when you have a Black creator coming to you repeatedly saying, why am I being treated differently than other creators? And then you come back and, oh, we got to age restricted. And then, oh, no, he's on to us. Okay, we got to age restrict them both. Fake! It's fake. That's what it is. I am deeply sorry that this came off as a rant. You know, in the beginning, I wanted to keep my emotions out of it. I wanted to stay logical, stay on the things that I could prove. I gave you the facts, but it also turned into me venting the emotions that I've had built up around YouTube. Ironic that I have to upload this on YouTube, but where else am I going to upload it? You know, I worked hard. I built this community.
well, tell you what, guys, there's gonna be one thing even more ironic when it comes to the whole situation regarding racism. So make sure to stay tuned until then. So, I mean, unless you don't want to know, then you can simply get out of the video and go watch something else if you don't want to carry on with me regarding raising the awareness when it comes to racism itself. But like I said, I'm doing this for a reason. I don't care what YouTube are gonna do with my video. I'm doing this with a freaking reason, and that being raise awareness and shed light on others somehow, one way or another, that what YouTube are doing is suspicious, unforgivable, inexcusable, and maybe even criminal, to say the least.
From the ground, it's taken me over a decade to do. And I would have just hoped that the playing field was fair and that, hey, if I did something bad, then everybody else who also did that thing should get punished too. Is that unreasonable? I have no problem being punished. I have no problem if I break a rule that I get punished for it and I learn. But when you start like when it's targeted, when you're doing things only because I'm like getting bigger, or I don't know how it always seems to coincide with that situation. But that's just what it is. Now, if my YouTube channel gets shadow banned or they like, they start like not sending my videos out to my subscribers, or in a couple months from now, y'all just stop seeing my videos. We know why. We know why. I mean, those shadows behind the scenes, they control it all. They control all of it. If they don't want my channel, they could terminate it right now. They could hide my videos. They could shadow ban me, not send my videos out to anybody. That's why I thought long and hard before I recorded this. But as one of the biggest Black creators on the platform, I want you to hear it from my mouth that there is some shady business going on behind the scenes at YouTube.
Oh, believe me, there is definitely shady business. And of course, right after the video was uploaded, 2 days ago, at least at around 25th of August, one day after the video was uploaded, Corey says this, quote, "This video was immediately flagged for quote-unquote ad suitability. I wonder why. Surely it isn't anything because it's YouTube being shown in a poor light? Surely not." Now, obviously, before the end of the video, Corey states the thing about YouTube creating a spotlight for Black people and whatnot. And look, this could have been somewhat okay to the whole community itself if it wasn't for the ridiculous context put behind this whole idea about making spotlight for Black creators. And if it wasn't for the whole controversy regarding YouTube. And remember when I said I'm going to show my own personal analysis after the video? Well, guess what? Now you're going to see what I'm trying to say. So, right after searching evidence about even more Black YouTubers being put under the same unfair behavior from YouTube regarding violating in one way or another the community guidelines when it comes to relating certain videos, I came an article by the Washington Post, and the freaking title of the article starts like this, and I quote, "Black creators sue YouTube alleging racial discrimination." And with the sentence under that as well, saying the following: "Algorithm systematically removes their content with the snap of their fingers or limit how much they can earn from advertising," they allege. And you want to know what else is said in that same article? See this picture right there? You see it? This is supposedly Stephanie Frosch. Now you might be thinking, you might be seeing this picture and you say, well, what does it have to do with the whole situation? Well, guess what? There's a freaking text put under the picture shedding some light behind this specific person, and it says, and I quote, "Stephanie Frosch said YouTube officials told her in 2017 that the company's content moderation algorithms discriminate based on race." Remember when I said that my personal analysis will trigger you a lot? Well, I wasn't even trying to shit on you guys. When you see this type of sentence put in an article about alleging YouTube suing them for the racial discrimination towards black creators, and later on backpedaling to make a spotlight, to promote a spotlight for black creators, which I said it would have been okay if it wasn't for the stupid context put on the YouTube and the controversy they put themselves into due to their suspicious behavior. Well, now you see what I mean. Now you see what I mean. But wait, it's not all. Oh, no, no, no. This is where the fun part begins. Right at the beginning, it says the following. A group of black YouTube creators filed suit against the company this week, alleging that the platform has been systematically removing their content without explanation. The suit, filed in federal court in Northern Carolina, outlines alleged discrimination against 4 creators who post YouTube videos to earn advertising revenue. 5 if you count Curry expansion, by the way. YouTube is part of tech giant Google. Yeah, we know that. We know that. But here is where the fun part begins. Listen to this. YouTube uses its quote-unquote absolute and unfettered control over access to approximately 95% of all video content that is available to the public. The lawsuit alleges to quote-unquote rig the game by using their power to restrict and block plaintiffs and other similarly situated competitors based on racial identity or viewpoint discrimination for profit. Now, if you think that 95% of the video content is a great number, think about what I'm trying to say right now. Think about the whole purpose of the video. 95% of the video content are from white people. I mean, sure, that includes me, but what I'm trying to do is speak on behalf of all black people and show you guys YouTube is doing some suspicious work. There's something fishy going on with YouTube. I'm not trying to make this video in order to say I'm proud to be white. I mean, everyone should be proud of who they are. I'm talking about racial identity, not anything else. I mean, don't get it wrong. But I'm trying to speak on behalf of all the black people, guys. Seriously, I'm not trying to say like stuff, racist stuff, like oh, I'm glad I'm white and I'm black because black suck or whatever. That's racist. All right, I'm not trying to mislead anyone into thinking that I'm racist. This whole purpose of the video is not me showing you guys that I'm racist. In fact, it's the other way around. It's showing that I'm trying to raise awareness, shed some light on this issue that has been going on with YouTube even to this day. Even to this very day. And it makes everyone sick. Alright? It's just sickening. But listen what it also said, by the way. YouTube spokesman Farshad Chaudhry said the company is reviewing the complaint. Quote, we've gone to extraordinary lengths to build our systems and enforce our policies in a neutral, consistent way, he wrote. He said the company's automated systems do not discriminate based on race. Now, if you think what I said about Stephanie Frosch and the sentence under the freaking photo of the article where it says, and I quote again, content moderation algorithms discriminate based on race. Now, if you think about that, and you go back to what Farshad Chaudhry said, that, quote, they've gone to extraordinary lengths to build their systems and enforce policies in a neutral, consistent way, to the point where it even says the company's automated systems do not discriminate based on race. If you're telling me that there's a difference between company automated system, then that being said, YouTube's automated system about reviewing the community guidelines who are possibly violated by certain videos, and you think about the word companies' content moderation algorithms, do not try to tell me that there's a big difference between these things. There's not. They're basically the same thing like this. See what I mean? So why the hell would you first say to one of the people who used to work at YouTube, and I'm not sure if she's even working at YouTube, Stephanie Frosch or whatever, why the hell trying to A, tell one of your officials that you basically discriminate people based on race, and B, trying somehow, even to this day, to backpedal and not realize that what you've said and what you're still doing to this day is a huge and inexcusable mistake to this point. Why even try doing this? I don't get it. But hold on, oh no, this is where the fun part now begins. And I don't mean fun by fun, I mean fun by shit. Listen to what the article also says. Quote, Catherine Jones, creator of the YouTube channel Comment Kaboom, said the platform removed the channel alleging nudity. But none of her videos contain nudity, the lawsuit says. Other videos Jones produced were removed because of alleged hate speech, as designation, the suit says, isn't true. Now, when you go on about a sort of accusation towards a YouTuber who's trying to grow their channel and is also black, when you go on accusing them in such a way that the lawsuit says it to be untrue, then you know there's something wrong with YouTube. And it's no bueno. Next up, Nicole Lewis, whose Nicole's View channel earns $6,000 to $7,000 per year, says 17 videos were removed or are archived for unknown reasons, according to the lawsuit. Now, when you hear the number 17 and then put the same words like remove or archive in the same sentence, it's ridiculous. I mean, sure, the YouTuber whose 17 videos were removed will most likely say that what he did was a mistake and to make a public apology, right? Well, when you hear also the word unknown reasons in the same sentence regarding the same unbelievable subject that I'm even talking about to this day, to this very specific year, 2022, when I'm talking about these kinds of subjects, and we're talking about black creators who for some apparent reasons get their channel removed, content archived, or videos removed, or even videos archived for that matter, without even stating as to why, without giving a proper reason. Instead, what they do, they allege black YouTubers unfairly and unexcusably, then try to backpedal and say, oh, but this is not what we were trying to do, or we gotta do something, or what should we do, or oh yeah, make a spotlight about black creators. You think this is funny? And listen to what it also says, by the way. Kimberly Carlos Newman said 700 or more videos from her channel, The True Royal Family, have disappeared, and she doesn't know why or how to get them back, the lawsuit says. And Lisa Cabrera says her 4,423 videos have generated 20 million views, but 68 of them were removed with no explanation, according to the lawsuit. And it also says, get this, YouTube is starting to age restrict news videos of George Floyd's killing. Now, that would have been normal when it comes to normal killing of a normal person. But when it comes to gaining awareness, raising awareness even of a killing of a black person for the wrong reasons, then you know there's something wrong with YouTube in another level. And you want to know what the YouTube CEO, Susan, whatever her name was, also said? Well, get this. On Thursday, YouTube CEO Susan Wojcicki shot down the allegations during a Washington Post-like event. Quote, it's not like our systems understand race on any of these different demographics. Now, let me get this straight. First, YouTube officials tell Stephanie Frosch that their systems, that their quote-unquote content moderation algorithms discriminate based on race. Then Farshad, whatever his name was, says that his or their company's automated system do not discriminate based on race, and then hear the freaking CEO say that their systems don't even understand race. So let me get this straight. First, you tell an official of YouTube, in that case Stephanie Frosch, first you tell her that your systems discriminate on race, then you say it doesn't discriminate race, and then you say, well, it doesn't understand race or any of those demographics. Then what is it? What are you trying to state at this point? What are you trying to tell? What are you trying to prove? Because I'm sorry, but backpedaling it like this is unacceptable at this point. It's unforgivable, unacceptable. It's also somewhat confusing as to what they're trying to say, because they're saying three different things, all of which make no absolute sense whatsoever when put together like this. So what are you trying to say? But that's not all. Get this. But she said the fairness of machine learning algorithms is a huge area of work across the industry. Quote, we always want to make sure that our machines haven't by accident learned something that isn't what we intended, she said. If we ever find that it did, then we will retrain our machines to make sure they now have it right, but whatever that issue was has been removed from the intending set of our machines. This implies so many things that I don't even want to explain, but I'm just going to try it anyways. So, from what I understood, Susan whatever her name was, the CEO says that their systems do not understand race. But she later on states that the fairness of machine learning algorithms is a quote-unquote huge area of work, whatever that means. And she says that they want to make sure that the machines haven't learned by accident from other human beings, and that if they ever find it did, it will retrain their machines to make sure that they now have the right, that whatever that issue has been removed from the training set of machine and whatnot. So you're basically saying that you're training your machines to not do the wrong thing in a way, to basically balance between the rights of a white YouTuber and a black YouTuber when it comes to violating certain community guidelines, whether it's certain videos of other YouTubers and whatnot. You're basically saying it doesn't understand race, but that you've trained your machines to differentiate about the equalities between the different racial YouTubers and their videos. This whole thing doesn't make any sense when you think about it. Because, like I said, first it says it discriminates by race. That being said, that the machines do that. Then the machines don't discriminate by race, but said by whatever his name was. Then Susan says that it doesn't understand race, but at the same time it has learned to differentiate it somehow. Like, what? What? And also get this as well. This is where the boiling part rises to the next level. Get this. Quote, the suit filed Tuesday cites a sworn declaration by another YouTube creator, Stephanie Frosch, who says YouTube officials told her in 2017 that the company's content moderation algorithms do discriminate based on race. Frosch is a plaintiff in the suit filed last summer. In the declaration, Frosch says she was invited to YouTube's headquarters in September 2017 to quote-unquote discuss alleged discrimination. After asking Frosh to sign a non-disclosure agreement, YouTube representatives themselves told Frosh that the company's algorithms categorize creators based on their race, among other characteristics. She said that information is used, quote, when filtering and curating content and restricting access to YouTube services. She says she was told. The result is that the algorithm discriminates based on the identity of the creator or its intended audience when making what are supposed to be neutral content-based regulations and restrictions for videos that run on YouTube, company officials told her, according to the declaration. Why? Seriously. I mean, you have an official literally backstabbing you in the fucking arse, stating that YouTube representatives themselves have declared that the company's algorithms categorize creators based on their race. Now, of course, categorize could be interpreted into many different ways. But the fact that the algorithm itself, no matter what Susan said about training their systems, training their machines not to do what it was wrong, the fact that the algorithm itself discriminates based on the race of a certain YouTuber itself, to the point where one of the officials, that being said, Stephanie Frosh back in 2017, where she was told, yeah, this is what your algorithm does. And then 5 years later, trying to backpedal all that was said into saying to us, yeah, no, you got us wrong. We were trying to say something else. We were trying to say that this algorithm says that he's black and he's white and whatnot. You see what the problem is? Now you realize what Corey was intending to say to us all this time? And this is not even the funny part, by the way. You want to know what's ironic? Well, I'll show you what's ironic. So conveniently, when I was searching for more evidence regarding the racial discrimination of black YouTubers, I happened to appear in a YouTube help page regarding quote-unquote hate speech policy. I conveniently went into this page, or I conveniently found this page when searching for more evidence, and take a guess what I found. Here it is. Quote, hate speech is not allowed on YouTube. We remove content promoting violence or hatred against individuals or groups based on any of the following attributes: age, case, disability, ethnicity, gender identity and expression, nationality. But the funniest and most stupid thing to come up is race. So not only do they have hate speech policy about protecting ones that are targeted for race, but at the same time, their algorithms discriminate YouTubers by race. That is the most ironic thing that I've ever heard on my entire life. So, where do we go from here then? So, let's rephrase what we said earlier, what we saw earlier during the video. We know that Corey X. Kenshin is one of the victims of the discrimination based on racial identity by the algorithms of YouTube and the policy team. We know for sure he tried to do something against YouTube themselves. You know, he stood up, he spoke up, full respect, brother. And we also know that when trying to make an appeal regarding one of his videos being put under the violence of community guideline the wrong way and in the unacceptable way, YouTube just straight up said that everything was fine and that this video was indeed violating community guidelines, up until the point where Corey himself just called a YouTube rep who had communication with the YouTube policy themselves, put them under pressure, and they just pull their pants down and reveal their freaking unacceptable side. Now, when you think about this might sound ridiculous, but here's another example, this time by even more famous YouTuber. And at the risk of having to include different YouTubers, such as, well, let's say Markiplier, for example, he himself has one example when it comes to basically calling out YouTube for their inconsistent behavior towards his videos. Now, what happened is that during one of his videos, his video got automatically removed by YouTube, where it was said that there was some trail of blood. Now, I'm not sure what the video was exactly. I might have to check it out later. But the fact that YouTube automatically reviewed his video and gave him an unfair strike is hilarious enough. But the fact that Markiplier appealed to them the instant he saw what happened, and that YouTube themselves wrongfully stated that their review of the video being put under temporary ban and then giving Markiplier a strike was a mistake. Them saying immediately it was a mistake, but denying what CoryX Kenshin, a black YouTuber, is saying to them, is appealing to them, denying what he's trying to say, what he's trying to show, denying this, but accepting Markiplier's offer of Markiplier's appeal like this. I mean, why? Just why? What's the point in all this, honestly? You know, from my own perspective, I believe that there are two things that hopefully needs to change for YouTube, because we're talking about YouTube. We're not talking about a program. We're not talking about servers of a big platform such as YouTube just falling from grace and then going bankrupt, because this is YouTube, all right? YouTube is one of the biggest platforms in social media history, not only in recent history, but ever since its creation back in 2005. But seriously, YouTube falling from grace, just going from the top, falling from grace and going bankrupt because of this whole situation with racism and favoritism is hilarious enough, honestly. But from what I can tell, from my own perspective, there are two things that I want to say. First of all, if there has to be a change regarding the policy team of YouTube and all the officials, is that either A, they can make a public apology and admit that what they were doing was wrong instead of backpedaling all this time along, even to this very day. Because making a mistake like this is hilarious enough, but you can either A, learn from your said mistake, or B, just backpedal all the way you want. I'm afraid that the YouTube policy team and the officials themselves, they've been doing the second option, just backpedaling all the time. Or B, the second option that YouTube can try to do is basically change and even polish the whole policy team. Because honestly, at the risk of sounding so pessimistic and whatnot, I'm afraid that with the same policy team that YouTube is going with right now, no change will ever be made. Like, the same issues will continue. YouTube will be put in the same controversies over and over again without even trying to resolve the issue, with even more controversies being put in the pod along with the racism thing, and not being solved at all. To the point where people start being pessimistic and doubt that YouTube will ever be fixed, that the issues YouTube is facing, that they will be ever fixed. So, normally I would have ended this video with a goodbye, but I mean, I don't know what to say, honestly. From what I can say from my own perspective, full respect towards CoryX Kenshin and all the YouTubers, alongside Jacksepticeye, by the way. You know, he's giving certain support towards his friend CoryX Kenshin, and I respect that. But full respect towards CoryX Kenshin for standing up and speaking up about this whole issues that YouTube is facing throughout the years. Of course, I hope that this video is helpful to communication and to all the people, all the Black people around the world. I hope it's helpful enough for them. I hope it's enough to raise awareness and shed light to others about the issues that YouTube is facing with racism and favoritism, along with some evidence from Korea expansion and other articles and other examples as to what the hell is going on. And to be quite honest, I don't care when, I don't care how, I don't care at what given time, at what given place. Changes have to be made for YouTube. And I don't care how, I don't care when, I don't care how long this will take. For one, I hope YouTube makes some changes really. I hope that the policy team that does something, I hope that they understand the mistakes they were doing, or even better way, I hope that everyone around YouTube sort of changes the whole policy team and the officials themselves. Because this right here is unexcusable, really. The whole topic of racism going around YouTube is completely unacceptable. Because we're not talking about racism from other people that are seemingly not well known around the world. We're talking about racism from officials of YouTube and their algorithms discriminating people by their race. By their race. Which is hilarious, inexcusable, and no bueno. And to be quite honest, I don't even care what YouTube tries to do against my video. They can either ban it, they can either age restrict it, they can either give me a strike, or even demonetize this video like my other videos. I simply don't care. Alright? I simply don't care what they do to my video, what they do to other videos with YouTubers trying to stand up and speak about this whole issue that YouTube is facing. Because I'm not gonna stand here doing nothing and pretend that this whole situation is okay, which isn't, by the way. Alright? I'm sick and tired of being able to be quiet, despite the fact that there are people over there in YouTube who, with the snap of their fingers like this, can simply permanently ban other YouTubers or simply terminate other videos like this, like they want nothing. Alright? They can do whatever they want with my video when I upload it to YouTube. I still have the file saved on my PC. So if anyone wants to, I can send it the file of the PC, the file of the video, by email. I don't know how. I don't know how large the file size will be. I will try to crop the file size so that I will be able to send it by emails by different people if someone wants to. But I simply don't care what YouTube are gonna do to my video or to my channel itself. Alright, at this point, I don't even care. At this point, I simply want to raise awareness and to do something that would do good for the people around the world.